This is the plaintiff, V10 Ingram. He says he purchased a Mercedes from the defendant, who promised the car was in great shape. Turns out the louse manually had the check engine light turned off, so he could sell it to an unsuspecting person. He was duped and is now suing for the return of the $5,000 he paid him. This is the defendant, Alibo Rosado. He says the plaintiff test drove the car he was selling, he liked it, and he bought it. 90 minutes later, the guy shows up wanting to return the car, stating he couldn't get temporary plates because he wanted to bring the thing to Georgia. Well, he's sorry, but the plaintiff's problems aren't his, and he's not returning any money to the guy. He's accused of selling a hoopty.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says he purchased a Mercedes from the defendant, and the guy said it was in good condition, and what a liar, it was a piece of junk. But the defendant says the guy test drove the car, he liked it, and he bought it. End of story. It's the case of the Mercedes BS class.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Nina.
Okay, Mr. Ingram, you're suing Mr. Rosado for $5,000, $4,000 that you paid him for a car that you couldn't register, and $1,000 for pain and suffering. What happened?
November 18th, I saw this 1999 Mercedes outside the road for sale, and it's for sale for $5,000. I did talk to one of the fellas over there, Kennedy, about it, and he showed it to me and said it was a good car and all, and then he called Mr. Rosado up because he owned the car.
Okay.
And he said it was a good car, and I test drove it. I did test drive it, but
You test drove it?
I test drove it.
Did you have a mechanic look at it?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
So you decide, you negotiate a price, and you buy it for $4,000.
Yes, correct.
All right, and then you take it. He comes down to do the paperwork.
Yes. No,
All right, and he gives you the title. He signs the title over. Did you notice that the title said Pennsylvania?
No, I didn't notice that at first. And then when I went, I thought at first I had bought cars before and never had a problem.
Right.
But this one.
Well, did you notice that you were in New Jersey? New Jersey is where you
at the time.
bought the car. Did you notice that the title said Pennsylvania?
Once I got it, yes. Afterwards, but I didn't know I couldn't register it.
Well, when he's signing it to you and handing it to you, you don't notice that it says Pennsylvania?
Yes, I noticed that, but...
Did you say anything to him, or you didn't think that would be a problem?
I didn't think that would be a problem.
I got you. And so you noticed the
before.
tag said Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And when you buy the car, he doesn't take the tag off the car?
After I had test drove it.
You test drove it, you brought it back, and what happens?
I brought it back. I drove it about 4 miles, 5 miles. Brought it back, and I parked, and then we went in, and I decided I want to buy it. So,
Okay. And then he took the plates off?
the place off, yes.
All right. So then how were you going to get the car to wherever it was going without any plates? Because you'll get a ticket.
I was trying to get it registered first.
Okay. So how do you get to get it registered? In a different car?
I had a pickup truck.
Okay. So you go in your car to try to get this registered, and what happens?
And then they said I couldn't register. He had to go back to Pennsylvania and get it. He had to go to Pennsylvania to get it registered. He needed to be registered in Jersey, and his resident.
Well, he didn't have to go to Pennsylvania. That he hadn't registered it in Jersey, so Jersey wouldn't give you temporary tags.
No, they wouldn't give me anything.
Right.
I couldn't get a temporary tag.
And you wanted to drive the car from New Jersey to where?
Back to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm from.
All right. What's the deal here? You're selling a car in New Jersey that people can't get a temporary tag for or drive anywhere. They'd have to drive to Pennsylvania to get a tag?
Number one, I had the tags on it, Pennsylvania tags. I did tell him it just passed inspection, Pennsylvania. You cannot get anything done in Jersey with a Pennsylvania.
You told him that, and he bought it anyway?
I did tell him
I have
that.
a hard time thinking that
Why would I sell a
because
car?
you want to sell the car.
No, I wasn't in no rush to selling it, and that's why I left the tags on it, so they can see it's a Pennsylvania tag. The inspection sticker is
Well, I
Pennsylvania.
thought you told them, hey, you can't. What exactly do you say you said to him?
The plaintiff says the defendant manually shut the check engine light on the dashboard off on the car he purchased from him, and that's against the law. The defendant says he did no such thing. The guy bought the car and then tried to return it 90 minutes later. But a deal is a deal. Let's listen.
I told him, when he said he wanted to get temporary tags, I said, in Pennsylvania, you can't do that. I can't say nothing about Jersey because I don't live in Jersey. I don't know the rules in Jersey.
Why
So-
was a car in Jersey?
Because that's where I volunteer to work.
How far is the nearest DMV in Pennsylvania to the point in
30
Jersey?
minutes.
To the point in Jersey where you were at?
30 minutes.
30 minutes away.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens?
He looked at the car the first time. He got interested in it. He says he'll think about it. He came back a week later to look at the vehicle again. My coworker Kenny showed him the vehicle, gave him the
You
whole
agree on a
running.
price of $4,000.
Yes, he made
And-
an offer and I accepted.
Okay, and
I drove to New Jersey. We went there.
Where were you?
I was in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so you drive to New Jersey, which is the car had been on display where? At the place where
In front of the place where I volunteer.
Okay, and what kind of a place is that? Just
It's a
general.
campground.
A campground. Okay, so go on.
And I drove down. He did mention about, I did tell him that it does have heated seats. He goes, well, they're not working. I told him turn on the car, start the car. I showed him where the button was. Then he started saying that it's not steaming hot.
Is this after he paid you or while you're negotiating?
Before he
Okay,
paid.
go on.
Before he paid.
Okay.
So I turned on the heated seats. I told him it does take a while. It is a 1999 car vehicle. Then he mentioned if it has heat. And I said, yes, it does have heat and it does have air conditioner, but there is a problem. The damper to turn the knob from from heat to AC, it's broken. I don't want to take it out because I don't know how to take out that part, and it's a wood panel. So I showed them how to convert it from air conditioner to heat.
By doing what?
By removing the glove box and just taking the lever and moving it manually.
Okay.
When I showed them that, his remark was, oh, okay, that's the same like in my truck.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. That's when he decided. We went inside, we did the deal. First he signed the title, then he gave me the money, and he left. I'm like, okay. I let him drive the car.
Where are you from?
I'm from Decatur, Georgia.
From Decatur, Georgia. When you went to the New Jersey tag place and you realized you had to go to Pennsylvania, how far did you think Pennsylvania was?
Well, I knew because my son lived in Belton, Pennsylvania, so it's about
30 minutes.
78 miles, around an hour, about an hour to get there.
He says it's 30 minutes.
It's
Is it
more
not
than
30
30
minutes?
No, it's
Who are
not
the
30
fellows with
minutes.
you?
My witnesses,
Are any of them, one of them works at the place you volunteer?
they both do.
Okay, one of you stand up, the first one, closest one. And how far is Pennsylvania DMV from that spot, the campground?
Depends on 30, 35 minutes, depending on which direction you go as far as, what the New Jersey
What's the
Turnpike-
biggest city close to you there?
I would say Trenton. Trenton is our biggest city, so let's see, Pennsylvania.
No, where you are is what city? The
Jackson,
campground.
New Jersey,
And how far is the biggest city in Pennsylvania?
probably Langhorne.
And
or
Langhorne is, does Langhorne have a
35.
DMV?
It's close. It's Bucks County. It's right across the bridge of
And
Trenton.
how long does it take to drive there?
About 30, 35 minutes.
Okay. All right. So he comes back. You can sit down. Thank you.
Okay.
He comes back, and I promise if I have another question, it'll be for you, for the other gentleman. No. All right. He comes back. How long after the deal is done?
I would say he came back an hour after.
And your tags are still on it, or no?
Yes.
Why are your
Yes.
tags still on it?
Because he wanted to test drive it, and I was going to allow him to go to.
But I thought he had
to
already
get-
paid for it by that point.
He paid for it.
You let the guy. So there's no test driving it. He had already
He
paid
didn't-
for it.
He didn't test drive it. No, he didn't.
Oh, so he just paid for it without test driving it?
Correctly.
Okay, test driving comes first and payment comes later.
Correct.
Did you pay for it and then test drive it?
No.
You test
I
drove
test
it
drove it first.
alone
Because
or with him?
I went to McDonald's. Got me some lunch and come back and sit there.
Then you came back, then you bought it, and then you drove it to the DMV.
I didn't drive it. I drove my truck.
You drove your truck to the
It's
DMV.
never left the lot after I test drove it.
So
never
you
left the lot.
test drove it, it drove fine. Was the check engine light on?
Not when I drove it. It
Okay,
came-
and then you buy it, and then you're driving it around later, and what happens?
No, I didn't drive it no more. After I came back from McDonald's, I was sitting in that aisle and eat my lunch, and the check-in light jumped on. And that's what made me think that
You were where?
sitting in the lot at the campground.
Okay, and the check
The
engine light comes
it just
on.
jumped on. It was sitting in the aisle and
Did you turn off a check engine light that then popped on after he bought it?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I guarantee you he turned it off.
Well, you don't know that.
No,
You know,
I
the
don't
check
know
engine
that,
light
but
comes on at some point. This is a very
Yeah.
inopportune time for it to come on,
Okay.
but it does come on at some point. I
Yes.
mean, this is a car that's old enough to vote. It's a very old car.
I'm not-
Wouldn't it have been a better idea to have it checked out by a mechanic if you're worried about it mechanically?
Yes, it would.
All right, so, but your real complaint is I can't register it in New Jersey.
Can't register it. I can't do anything with it. Just a piece of just something
Okay,
I
what's the
got.
name of the closest city you said?
Fairless Hills.
43 minutes. And that's now in traffic. It's 43 minutes away. All right, so he tells you when he comes back, what does he say to you? The check engine light is on and I can't get a tag? What does he say?
No, he first came back and he said he wanted his money back because he can't get a temporary tag. My response was, you cannot get a temporary tag in Jersey because the car is registered in Pennsylvania. He started.
Oh, so now you do know that you can't get a temporary tag in Jersey.
Oh, you can't get it.
Well, you were saying before you said, I don't know if you can get a temporary tag in Jersey.
Because I don't know.
So you told him to go to Pennsylvania, which sounds worse than it is because it's 40 minutes away. Go on.
Correct. So and then he started getting irate, saying, I want my money back, I want my money back. So to try to de-escalate, I said, listen, I'm going to do you the favor. I will let you use my tag, my insurance, my Easy Pass, and I give you my word that the car will make it to your destination. He says, okay, let's do that. That's when he took the car again. He came back several hours later. That's when he mentioned about the check engine light. I was like, okay. I borrowed a little code reader to put it in to see what it was. Okay?
You had that handy?
We got all kinds of mechanic tools. Yes, we do. So then when I explained to him, I said, it's a vacuum leak. He started, no, the engine's gonna blow up, the engine's gonna blow up. I'm like, no, it can be a little crack in the hose. You gotta remember, it's a 1999 vehicle. It was sitting for a couple of months, or it can be the gas cap that was not screwed on correctly. He just kept on with his irate saying he wanted his money back, and I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
Did you screw the
signed
gas cap
title.
on correctly, and did the check engine light go off?
Actually, when I went to put in more gas, yes, I put in the gas cap on the way it's supposed to, and the check engine light never came back on.
Oh, you mean after he left and said,
After
I'm
he
not
left.
taking
Well,
this car?
I had to put in more gas because he used up most of the gas. Just in case if somebody wants to test drive, I got to have gas
Were
on
you
it.
able to sell it?
No.
Okay, so is it still there now?
Yes.
Come on up here, sir. Were you part of the sale?
I was there with the paperwork and showing the vehicle at first, yes.
Okay. Well, I guess he admits that the check engine light wasn't on until he had been. How much later were you there when he comes back hours later, like he says, or no?
Yes.
And was it hours?
Yes.
How many hours?
Say at least 4 or 5 hours later.
Oh, wow. Okay. What were you, by the way, what were you doing in Jersey? Were you visiting somebody?
Yes,
okay.
I have a son living in Jackson.
Okay.
And
All
two
right.
living freehold.
Go ahead. You can sit down. Can I? So the car now is where? Still there?
Still there.
Oh, Lord above.
Welcome back to the People's Court. The plaintiff is saying he is entitled to damages to the tune of $5,000, and he wants it today. But the defendant says a deal is simply a deal. Let's go back into the courtroom and find out who wins.
So you want your money back based on what? Because when you buy a used car, it is an as-is sale. The light was not on when you bought it. You test drove it. You liked it. You paid for it. And, you know, when I'm reading the facts, I kind of forgot that, you know, Jersey and Pennsylvania can be very, very close. I didn't know what part of Jersey you're at. But it turns out that it's really right across the bridge. So you can't change your mind on a used car sale because it's an as-is sale.
Yeah, I understand that, but the light shouldn't have jumped on just like that.
Yeah, but everything that goes wrong with your 23-year-old car that you bought, you're not going to be able to claim once you paid for it. The sale is an as-is sale. By default, it's an as-is sale. It means that you don't get warranties with it. You're not buying it from a dealership. You're buying it from a private party at a better price, and kind of you're buying a pig in the poke. If you do not, pig in a poke. If you do not have a mechanic look at it because you don't want to spend $100 on the mechanic, that's fine. But so you're in Vegas, you're gambling, and that's on you. It's your car. I'm not going to order him to pay you $4,000 or $1,000. Where's the car right now?
In the parking lot of the campground.
Oh, Lord above. All right. And he's here.
I got the titles here. The
And you
old
got the-
one that he signed.
He left
and
it?
the new one, yes. He left the title. So that way we can try to resell it, because he agreed to that. Darren actually said, listen, to de-escalate everything, I'll resell the car for you. When I resell it, I will give you your money.
Yeah, except for
He
that you didn't
agreed.
resell it.
So I got a different title.
In
so
Jersey?
Because in Pennsylvania.
Oh, in Pennsylvania. Okay.
At the Bucks County Auto Tags. That's
Okay,
why I went,
okay,
because
okay.
he already signed the title. I can't go to motor vehicle saying, oh, the gentleman decided to change his mind, so
Right.
let's get a new title.
So you had to go and get another title.
Another title, correct.
But
Yeah.
I cannot do anything with the car. I can't even
Well,
get my
well, it's
name.
your car. That's not my problem. See,
Well,
I'm only here. I'm only here to decide if there is some breach of the law on his part that would entitle you to get a refund for your used car that you bought as is without taking to a mechanic. It's an as is sale. So you don't get to take it back after you've driven it a bunch of hours because the engine light went on. Anything that happens the second you take possession is on you. And so then I thought, well, wait a minute, look at the stuff with New Jersey and Pennsylvania, but that's a non-starter because it's literally 35 minutes away. So no, that's not a reason for you to be able to get your money back. There is no legal reason. So it's your car. How long do you need to pick up your car? And then you can sell it, your son can sell it, you can figure it out. But you're going to have to register it in your name for you to be able to sell
Okay,
it.
that's
So we're
something I
going to have to
can't do.
figure out, he may need both of those titles.
I don't have a problem giving them.
Yeah, yeah. How
Judge,
long do you need?
How long I need? Probably, try to get my son to pick it up.
Right, but you need a
I'm
week?
not going back down there. I mean, I'd rather let my son come pick it up.
A week? 2 weeks?
A week.
A week? All right. Do you mind if it's 2 weeks? It's on the, yeah. Let's give him double the time he needs, okay? And then he is going to get, in fact, you could go ahead and give that to him now. Let me think this through a second.
You want both of them? Because I still have
The
to sign the title.
problem is I'm worried that title superseded the other one.
It did. This
All
is,
right.
the one that he signed is not worth anything.
That's right. So now we'll take care of this now before the two of you leave. That needs to be signed again and everything.
Okay.
All right? But it's his car. He'll pick it up within the next 2 weeks, or his son will. Whoever picks it up, make sure you take a picture of him and you have him sign something and you FaceTime him to make sure he says it's okay. Everybody protect themselves. Good luck, everybody. That's my verdict.
Thank you.
So the defendant prevails in this lawsuit. Mr. Ingram is going to have to keep the car because it's his car. He paid $4,000 for it. You were suing for $5,000. You didn't get that, but you got the car. And you got the title in your hand. Let me ask you something. I gather because you're not a resident of Pennsylvania, you can't register it in Pennsylvania. Would that be right?
That'd be right.
That's your problem.
That's no problem.
You got to get that car maybe towed to Georgia, which is where you live,
Yeah, it's
and
too much
register
money.
it there. Would that be right?
That'd be right, but that's too much money. You can't drive there. I don't
No,
think-
no, you
I don't
can't do
think-
that.
I
You don't
think
have a
it'll make
tag
it-
on
I
it.
don't think it'll make it there.
You don't think it'll make it there?
No.
Really? Why'd you buy it?
Cause
I mean, if you didn't think it would make it for a trip, you said you wanted to take it to Georgia.
It was a good car. All three of them right there said it was a good car. The car ain't worth 2 cents.
Well, look, you only drove it once. You don't know. It might be good.
I know it was not. I know it. The
Now you know
when
it's
the
not.
check light come on, you gotta get an emission. You can't not get an emission with a check light on, check engine light on. You
He
cannot
said the engine light went off when he put
when
the
you turn
new
it off.
gas on it.
When you turn it off. When you turn it off. He turned it off. He got a kid up to a 2. He can turn it off. I know. He could have paid somebody to get an emission.
Look,
They
you know,
do
he
that
seemed like
too.
a nice guy. I don't
He
think he's
ain't
trying
that-
to pull
he
a
ain't that
nose.
nice. He ain't that nice. He's
He's
got
not
3
that
witnesses.
nice?
No, he got 3 witnesses. He ain't that nice. He ain't that nice. No.
All right. Well, bottom line is the car's yours. It's sitting in New Jersey. What are you going to do?
What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to get my son to bring it. If it don't, we'll set a store match to it.
All right.
Yeah, 'cause that's what it worth.
Well, good luck to you, whatever. That's the way out. You know, I feel sorry for you, but, you know, I don't think he's trying to pull anything over on you. Come on out. Mr. Rosado, you're not pulling wool over on his eyes, were you?
didn't.
I mean, you seem
No, I
like a
didn't.
fairly decent guy.
I try to work with him. I told him that I even lend him my tags, my insurance, my Easy Pass, and
Yeah.
everything. He just, for some reason, changed his mind and thinks that he can just come back and say, "Okay, I don't want I don't want the car." You know, so I have videos of the car running, everything, the heat working perfectly, the air conditioner working perfectly, everything works perfectly. There's
But
nothing
his
wrong.
problem is he wants to take it to Georgia. He can't register it in Pennsylvania.
But
right?
but that's not my problem.
That's not your
My,
problem.
my problem is not to make sure that where they can register it. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Did you know it was going to be this kind of a thing when you sold him the car?
no.
You didn't? No. Oh, boy. All right. Well, I wish everybody luck. But
Thank
you
you.
seem like good guys and you prevailed, okay?
Thank
so
you.
good luck to you. All right. What a situation, Harvey. What about this? What do you think?
Well, you know, we've talked about this before, Doug, that when you buy a car or anything for that matter as is, you are essentially stuck even if the product is defective. That's what as is means, buyer beware. But the only exception, if you can prove fraud, a material omission of a fact, that will get you out of the deal. Otherwise, you're stuck.
A friend of mine is now a circuit court judge. Can I still address her by name, or do I have to say Your Honor?
Well, you can call her Your Excellency or Your Eminence or Your Grace, whatever you want to call her, on your own
Highness.
time.
I also will accept Your Highness.
Exactly. Look, if you're a judge, my position is, if you're a judge and you're not on the bench in a courtroom with a court reporter typing, or in front of litigants or defendants in a case, I'm just John.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And to pretty much anybody, I don't expect to be called judge off the bench, walking around town, etc. People do it all the time.
People do it all the time, but you don't expect.
But when I meet people, I don't introduce myself.
People also do the opposite. Sometimes you're in your robe and you're walking through the hallways to get to one courtroom to another, and then a lawyer, in order to show off in front of their client, is like, "Hey, John. Hey, Marilyn," which is really rude. I think that's really rude.
Yeah, because they're trying to
they're trying to
make an impression,
make
on
it look
somebody.
like they've got an in with you, which is super inappropriate.
That's true. I suppose that's
Just
true.
don't say anything, you know.
Right. But if you are a judge for long enough that you start thinking that your name is judge, it's time to get the hell out of the game.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wait, nobody gave me the memo.
Because, and then once you get off the bench, you should go back to your regular name, and then people aren't going to laugh at your jokes anymore.
Yeah.
Stuff like life will
you
go
become
back
a lot less funny.
Right. Things will go back to normal.
Things will go back to normal.
There's nothing wrong with normal.
No, normal's good.
So that'll do it for this session of the People's Court. We will see you next time.